Hello everyone, it's Mark from Two Old Gamers. I'm back again with, you guessed it, it's No Man's Sky time. The game that has caused stress, fighting, arguments, falling out with people. This game has caused, not just for me, but for lots of people who like the game, a lot of stress. But is it needed? Is No Man's Sky, after its launch, still a bad game? It's been out for a year. What have they done to improve it? Well, a year has been a long time, but let's not forget that about 100 days after silence of the launch, Hello Games went completely radio silent. Nobody knew what was going on. Rumours of them shutting down. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Foundation update came out, and it was huge. It was a massive update. It added freighters, purchasable freighters. It added a slightly better combat system in space, some refinements to the graphics, but the biggest feature about it was base building, which wasn't something I really wanted from the game, but it's no less a massive achievement. And with that also came teleportation systems, so that you could teleport back to your home planet essentially from any space station, which is quite handy. Base building, perfect. They weren't finished there though, and in March this year, just before the launch of Mass Effect Andromeda, they launched the Pathfinder update. Quite ironic. Mass Effect Andromeda is all about Pathfinders using planetary vehicles to explore, and guess what? Pathfinder for No Man's Sky was exactly that. It offered you the ability to use vehicles, land vehicles, or hover buggies and things like that, to explore planets, which is quite cool. I never got there because of my inability to finish the base building tutorial in the previous update. I couldn't get vehicles working because my save game meant I was in the wrong system. So I didn't really explore Pathfinder too much, but once again I was massively impressed with the amount of updates they put into it again. Which leads us on to a year. A year has passed and everyone was hoping that Hello Games would release another patch, and indeed they have, following the I think a 2-month long ARG game called Waking Titan, which had people all over the No Man's Sky community looking at music tapes and decoding audio files that led them to a website that had more puzzles and coding and things and everything coming together, all too complicated for my tiny brain, so I let them do it, and it worked quite well because I'm reaping the benefits. But yeah, all of a sudden last week Sean Murray put out an article out saying basically, it's been a year, we'd like to thank you. Atlas Rises will come out this week, and true to their word now, sure enough, 2 days later on Friday morning, the website updated. Atlas Rises was there, patch notes and everything. Huge, another huge update, and I don't think I can even comment on how much of an update this is. I mean, it's massive. The massive part of it all is portals now work, a la Stargate. You can dial in it in to a location, I assume. I haven't got there yet, and travel to anywhere in the galaxy. The other thing is, of course, there's a load of new features. Low altitude flying is now existing. The flight model has been improved for both land, planetary and space. Lots of new end of life sort of features coming on with regards to the way the heads-up display works. But the other thing, of course, is they've added 30 hours of new storyline, which basically to enhance the existing storyline, which isn't great, and leads to some confusion. So with me being caught in limbo with this base building saga, I thought, you know what, this could be the perfect time. the perfect time for me to start again. I've put 60 hours into this game in the last year. Not as much as some people, I know. But I thought, no, this is it. 1 year on, No Man's Sky seems to be such a different game that I think it deserves to be played from the beginning. So, as you see, the game is gone. Simple as that. Quite painful. But let's jump back in. No Man's Sky. It doesn't seem like it was 1 year ago that I was booting this game up and landing, waking on an ice planet for the first time and realising what the hell am I meant to do. But let's see what happens this time around. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, this is all recorded earlier. I've skipped some bits out because who wants to sit through hours and hours of me shooting rocks. This is all, the computer voice is all there from the original, I'm sure. Of course, yeah, it's all obviously Gladys from Portal. There we go. Right. First planet. Olomskivi Kami. Easy for you to say. So of course, first thing I'm going to do is look around, and things seem different already. The mushrooms, I'm not sure if the mushrooms were part of it. There seems to be new fauna around, not fauna, flora. I get confused very easily. So the plants seem different. I was a bit surprised that my ship didn't have a nose. A bit small, don't like that. And then of course immediately, bang! What's this? Storyline started to come in. This is good. Pulse engine, multi-tool critically damaged. And here we go. I have awoken near a crashed starship. I can only assume it belongs to me, though I have no memory of it, no sense of it before. The crash must have affected my memory somehow. Read the log of the ship. Request log unavailable. Pilot should perform maintenance, guidance available, prioritise which system. Here we go. I mean, it's essentially a branching storyline. Just at that point. Not much, but it's enough. For the moment. Dashboard of the ship seems different. I notice there's a blue glowing circle, neon circle around, and I don't know what part that will play. But even now, when I just started playing this now, the buzz, the excitement of unknown exploration, exploring the unknown. Literally, I was like, yes. And that's what this game does perfectly. And if you're not somebody who likes just the exploration side of things, then I don't think No Man's Sky is still not a game for you. A year ago I was telling people who were very bitterly disappointed with the game or just thought it was a load of rubbish that, this is what I wanted it to be. This is what I thought it was going to be, was this essentially intergalactic scanning simulator. And I got it. So I was always happy with the game that Hello Games gave me. But to see it evolve, I've used the term with Mike from the podcast. I've used the term with Mike that Hello Games have pulled a Drive Club, and by that I mean Drive Club launched with hardly any of the features they promised. People were bitterly disappointed with it, but over a course of a year, that studio carried on putting content back into it. And if you go back to Drive Club now, you will find it is possibly one of the greatest racing experiences on next generation hardware. I think it's superbly better than Forza, until Forza comes out on the Xbox One X at least. Right, back to this. So things have changed here again. So these containers don't normally, they just normally chuck stuff out, but now it's not that. It's rusted metal, a new commodity, which you can sell, but also I think you get some other stuff for opening that bits as well. Damaged machinery is like a quest line now. And the inventory has changed on your exosuit. You now have slots for general items, technology items, and cargo, which of course just had none. And that means at the drop pods you can expand different slots, different segments of your inventory, which I think could be quite cool. And it also will hopefully make inventory a lot less messy. It was very hard to slot things in different places. Anyway, moving on, you can see here, very clear. I tried to use my analysis visor. It very clearly told me this is damaged. Immediately brought up the screen of how do you repair it. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, they're hand holding, but I think this is a game that an element of hand holding is required, because there is so much scope. It's nice to be able to tell what to do. Elite Dangerous doesn't suffer from essentially hand holding you into missions and structure, that kind of environment, so why not do it here? And this is the other reason why I'm interested to go back to No Man's Sky, is of course Elite Dangerous is now out on the PS4, and I own that, and it's a phenomenal game, absolutely brilliant. I didn't go for the full Horizons edition. I've literally just got the base game, which means I don't do planetary landings or things like that. But the planetary landings in Elite don't match the wealth of planets that things you can do on planets with No Man's Sky. So that's where its element is. Now the other thing is, now the analysis visor has been fully updated to start providing you a mission log, quite helpfully in the corner, local minerals nearby, just to let you know, and also when you scan something, it immediately tells you in the analysis visor a lot more information about what you've just scanned, what its components are, more information about it. Really helpful. Once again, like I said, inventory management, hugely helpful. So we've got here, I was just trying to make some carite sheets to repair my launch thrusters, and you can make the sheets, and of course early game inventory is always a problem, and the thing you couldn't do before I think was stack those certain items together, but now quite happily they stack together. I don't know if that might not be an Atlas update, like I said, but this is all welcome stuff. Charger up. So that bit is finished. I've done that quest line, that the launch thrusters are fixed, and it tells me you're finished, you've done that, and immediately I've got, right, you need to repair the pulse engine, and here's the symbol of the thing you need to build carite sheets. So it's helping you out so much, which is great. This is what essentially what would turn people off. So hopefully by doing this you get more get more people involved. Maybe more people would want to play the game. Also nighttime seems different. Here we go, we're just going to charge the pulse engines. Starship repair complete, all systems functional, return to your ship. Here we go. And also awesome music as always. So let's just fly over to my ship. Now I think what we're going to do here is actually, there's that canister. Just want to have a quick look at it. So here we go, the damaged machinery. I said it's like a quest line now. Normally these would open, you open them up, but now you get a thing and it's saying, oh, the lock is damaged basically, and you need these items to open it. So I needed some carbon, I shot some carbon, and then I shot more than I needed, as always. Almost there. Back to the damaged machinery. Just a moment. You can rotate things and it's nice now. Still very much a Destiny-esque front end there. And you collect some nanite clusters, which nanite clusters are now what you use to buy blueprints rather than just picking them up in machines, from machines all the time. So here we go. First takeoff. And immediately you know what I'm going to test. They said low flight. Let's see how low you can get. For people who haven't played No Man's Sky, you've always had this set limit of, whoa, that is low. You've got this set limit of how high from the how far from the ground your ship can be. It was always a little bit too high. You didn't feel like you were scouring a planet as such, but now, as you can see here, we can skim the surface. Controls still feel a little bit funny, but it's a huge improvement. Right, into space. As you can see, I've got a red light, warning light. No idea what that means. Probably not good. So this is the first part of the story, this new storyline kind of things. Incoming signal, scan to locate. So you send out a scan, it finds the signal beacon, and then updates your objectives. And here we go. So now I've got to go off to this. What is it? Space station? I thought it was a planet I was going to. I can't remember this. I recorded this here when I was late, tired. So anyway, that's great. Once again, it's kind of telling you more than it's telling you what you need to do and where you need to go. Interestingly enough, I'm pretty sure that when I was playing it more last year, I'm pretty sure that the pulse engine was powered off Thanium 9, but it now seems to be powered off iron, which I think iron is obviously more available as well, so that's good. Right, let's go off to this planet. So yeah, I'm just really impressed so far. Right, so we're going to go off to... I keep running out of fuel. You can tell it's early on in the game and I'm just desperate to get out there. Whoa, rockets! That's the other thing. All ships have been now fitted with rocket launchers, and I don't know if it's been taken away, but all ships used to have a mining laser and then photon cannons, and shooting rocks with photon cannons still gave you all the mining stuff, so I think they've probably just got rid of the mining laser in favour of photon cannons and rocket launchers, which would be much more helpful in a fight. Which hopefully there'll be more of, because apparently there are more better space combat again. The AI for the enemies has been updated. And also there's now a mission board structure, which I haven't seen yet, but there will be mission boards allowing you to take on delivery missions and bounty hunting missions. I think there's more details on that later. Right, let's try. I think it's going to be a hard one for me because Elite Dangerous is so good. And I would have to admit, No Man's Sky seems to be more arcadey in the fact that it hasn't got the element of simulation that Elite Dangerous has, with the element of controlling power systems and weaponry and even landing, making sure your gear's out, things like that. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But at the moment, I think massive improvement over what I played last year. If you just watch this. It's also nice to see that Hello Games are, they're still supporting the game, which is what you'd want them to do, I know. But if they can get more players, if they can get more people purchasing the game, hopefully that will all go towards funding more updates for the game. I think this is the beginning of something that they have set essentially the foundation for 2 great updates. Early in the late part of last year and early this year, but this seems to be this kind of, I hate to say that this is the game that should have come out a year ago, but had I experienced this a year ago, I think I would have felt slightly different than I do today. And hopefully some of the people that I know who have now sort of dropped off the game maybe wouldn't have dropped off the game so quickly. And yes, you can quite easily crash your ship into the ground. I think now might be a good time for me to crash. No, I didn't crash here. Could have sworn I did. So after a miserable, toxic waste planet that I started off on, the next planet in the system seems to be forests and quite pleasant. It's already got the look of a new home world for me. Right, so let's just land here. Oh, okay, not there. Let's go further along. Interestingly also, when you land the ships now, you don't get immediately thrown out, which is great, because sometimes you find yourself fired into a hostile environment you didn't want to be in. So at least you get a chance to check out if you want to get out or not. Next part done, and the waypoint it's given me is off planet. Another distress signal, so you know it's going to be back on the ship. And let's go back to the other planet. Just scan some stuff before I go. So I just lose myself in this game. So the other thing that patch notes have touched on that I haven't seen yet because of everything that's going on. Oh dear. Sorry. Maybe goodbye. Bye. Sorry for breaking the intergalactic law of chopping down trees. Is the other thing they've added is a terrain gun. So basically, with the terrain gun, you can build. You can make your shapes or extract, dig terrain out or build terrain. From the videos on YouTube, it seems to be like in a sausage shape. I'm kind of hoping it's not. You can fill holes in or flatten land out, or that would be handy. Also, if we could flatten out land, maybe to build multiple bases or larger bases if you wanted to do that. Because if you ever go onto the No Man's Sky Reddit community, I think the guys there who are base building are phenomenally good. I mean, they're the kind of guys in Minecraft who make wonderful creations, and then you go back to Minecraft and look at your own log cabin and go, yeah, I could do better than what I've built, surely. And then you spend 6 hours finding out. No, you can't. I think my base from the original No Man's Sky update last year was literally a cylinder, another cylinder on top, a ladder, and a corridor that went nowhere. Now, I'm showing you this just because I've gone straight back to the other planet, but this is another feature. A crazy feature. I don't think it adds a lot, but it's nevertheless impressive. Pathfinder, the Foundation update added freighters to the game. The Atlas Rises update adds freighters to planets. But obviously Hello Games likes The Force Awakens, so now you can oh look, there's the teddy bear guys I found earlier. Awesome. There you go. There are now crashed freighters on planets. Look at that. I mean, oh, look at that pit. Look at that. I mean, it's spectacular. With the game's built-in photo mode, which also is phenomenally good, and also definitely needed in a game like this. It's just tremendous. It just brings another sheer awe moment of, my god. And there are crates buried in the floor that you can dig out and open up in a similar way. The damaged machinery, you need to use resources to fix systems to open what's inside. There you go. Nestled among the debris, I find the pilot's log, blinking, awaiting input. I mean, as if you're going to leave. Instead of displaying the ship's log, the terminal spits out a strange sequence of numbers. The anomaly comes for the stars. Take flight. A schematic for a hyperdrive is attached to the end of the message. I pulled the blueprint from the computer, but the hyperdrive blueprint is for a conventional starship, not a freighter of this size. See, here we go. Story and intrigue. Who put a blueprint in a freighter's ship's system? But now, once again, boom, here we go, straight away. Mission log, clearly telling me this is what you need to do. You need to go and buy a dynamic resonator from a space station, and you need to get a certain amount of resources. But this then tells you, oh, look how to make money. And it's the first time I looked at the sort of like options menu, and you now have a guide, and the guide is this is basically the wiki that you don't have to look at anymore next to you on the laptop. This is all the information you need about how to play the game, with tips essentially of how to make money, how to improve your combat. Fantastically great, that this is now part of the game. Right, back into space, I think. I know, look, there's a line down from the mushroom. Ouch, that hurt the ship. So I wanted to go here because this is something else that's been subtly changed, is that the building types that you discover have changed slightly. And also, just to point out here, the ability to fly on your own quite low means that finding points like that, which of course the anchor point is, if you land near one of those points on a base, when you go to take off, it doesn't cost you any launch thruster fuel, and it's always very handy. But in the old original game, you wouldn't see them from the fixed height you were allowed to be at, so you ended up landing the other side of a base and then realising there was one there, and when resources have always been quite scant and you didn't want to waste them, it was always a little bit annoying. But yeah, I also just wanted to show that some of the buildings there are new shapes. There's domes and globes on the buildings, which mixed in with the new sort of like variety of flora and fauna. There's new animals in there that I haven't seen before, and of course here we go. So nighttime seems different. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the this new menu, and actually how much information it now gives you. You can actually flick between missions. It will show you all the steps, where you are with them, what's required. You can flick between what you're tracking. This is hugely improved over what was already there. And then you've got your journey milestones, but you've also got broken down your standings with all three races, including how many words you've learned, combat missions you've done for them, but also you can see there's now a Merchants Guild, a Mercenaries Guild, an Explorers Guild. Yes, they've stolen this from Elite Dangerous, but hey, why not? So hopefully as you progress in the game you'll find more information about joining these guilds and doing more work for them, which sounds very impressive. I know that vehicles and spaceships now have classes, so there's freighters, explorers, fighters, shuttles, very similar to what is already in Elite Dangerous. And I think there's a lot of comparisons to Elite Dangerous, but at the same time this is a this is still I suppose Elite Dangerous is still the dark, grim space that I like, but at the same time this is the fantastical awe of sci-fi comics, you know, that sort of like the wonder element of it. Oh, that's not going to work out well, is it? Here we go. There are bugs. This wouldn't be a No Man's Sky patch without some bugs. The low-level flight at points seems to push the boundaries of what's available, as you can see here. It did not want me to fly that low near that mountain, and it threw me practically up into space and then back down. So I thought, well, maybe it's just one way. No, just didn't want to know. And next thing you know, I can't land because I'm in the airspace and I'm thrown a mile into the air. No idea why. But as with every major release that Hello Games do, after release they tend to patch the hell out of these games. They fix problems as soon as they find them. And I know that my PlayStation has already downloaded a 1.31 patch, so I don't know what was added to that yet, but you know, they'll do the business, I'm sure. I'm just checking out this menu again. So, oh yeah, no, I'm close to building my warp cell. Yeah, so I'm optimistic with the future of No Man's Sky. I would hope that people like what Atlas Rises does. The other thing I would point out is that No Man's Sky is apparently part of the PlayStation's summer sale, and you can buy this now digitally for $9.99, which is a ridiculous price. You know, bearing in mind the amount of content and free updates. Oh, by the way, sorry, I had to include this. If you feed animals, they can blood poop stuff for you. I don't know if I need this copyright that came out of his arse, but that looked painful. Oh yeah, and I'm going to sit down too. Right. Yeah, so it's $9.99. It's worth a look, even if you've looked in before. I would say now is the time to give this game a second chance. Start again. You never know, you might enjoy this. There seems to be a huge wealth of content been added to the game. I think with like things like base building and you know, the planetary vehicle exploring, and also you know, now with the terrain update and bits like that, this has still got the potential to be a intergalactic Minecraft. I don't think I'll ever get there, but it's got potential, and it excites me. This game constantly surprises me. I love it dearly, and I love Hello Games for bringing it to me. The only thing I would ask for, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, I know. I was going to say, I mean, this is one of the few games that I would consider upgrading my PlayStation to a PlayStation 4 Pro and a 4K TV, because I think this game now in 4K would look glorious, absolutely glorious. But once again, I mean, it's just a game that you can sink hours into this, and it's so relaxing, and there's no sort of aggression or anything in that. I love this game dearly, and I think I'll always like this game. I know it's a bit slushy. And then of course the other thing they've added to this game recently is they've added, so in this new update they've added the beginnings of what could be multiplayer. So now, and it's very sort of Dark Souls-esque, but there's a chance of bumping into other players, and you don't actually see the players, you see their orbs, and if you bump into a player you can interact with them. I watched a video today on IGN of what that interaction actually is, and basically all it is it marks a monument in the universe, a glowing orb commemorating the meeting of two players, and names who they were and when it happened, which, you know, for a game that everyone kind of thought was going to have multiplayer, but then they said, oh no, it's never going to have multiplayer. This is certainly the beginning of something. Apparently 16 people at once, so, you know, if they can merge this somehow into a cooperative experience at some point, that'd be fantastic. I don't expect that would happen soon. I think maybe in another couple of major releases, but you never know. Right, so in this section here I was trying to find a broadcast station, and these are the old classic, if you played the game, sort of infected outposts. Luckily all the poisonous monsters on the ceiling that attack you when in an area where you can't draw your weapon, they've all gone, thank God. That was a bad idea. But this is now weird. The terminals are gooped up, and you have to remove the goop from each of the icons. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if you can now sell the goop. It's actually called goop as well, foreign goop. Right, so this now gives me my antimatter, allowing me to make my first jump. Right, let's have a look at this. Okay, fuel up the hyperdrive. Now, one of the other many improvements that have been made in the Atlas Rises is of course the galactic map. And the galactic map now has, it's so painful. So basically my time with the Foundation update meant that the storyline for the quest log line for the base building required you to get a Korvax guy to become your scientist. But 60 hours into the game and 2 black holes and God knows where, I was so deeply entrenched in Gekken Viking territories, I couldn't get there. And it was pot luck. You don't know where you're hopping into next. But now, as you can see on the galactic map, it tells me when you jumping into someone, it tells you basically the guild affiliation or faction affiliation that system is with. Hopefully narrowing down when you need to find a specific member of a specific race, you can then hopefully find those systems quicker. And also there's now also other sections that were blocked out. You can buy economy scanners, and there was something else, I can't remember what it is, which is essentially technology that you can plug into your starship, so they will take a slot, but they'll provide more information in the galactic map as to what that new system holds for you, which is great, because I mean, you did feel in the original game that jumping from system to system was kind of pot luck. You never knew what you were going to get, and once again this adds more direction. And once again, as soon as you jump into a new system, the storyline kicked in straight away. New signal, scan for signal, signals detected, and now you're going to go fly off to wherever that signal is at. Message amplified, source is a planetary outpost. So actually what happened there is I scanned once, didn't see it, and scanned again, and it amplified it for me. So we're going to this unknown planet. Also, I think, look there, there's some more sort of gas clouds, vibrant light shinings around. The planets seem to have halos. Planets seem to be much bigger when you're approaching them. Dark sides of the planet seem to be more pronounced as well, hence the nighttime side of it. So I'm going to sum up quickly because I've talked for far too long already. No Man's Sky, 1 year on, is it worth going back? Yes, I think at this moment, yes it is. It is definitely worth another look. Oh, crash land. Yeah, there's been so much. If you played No Man's Sky and then gave up in the first month last year, you definitely need to go back to it because the amount that's been added is incredible. If you're somebody like me who's recently just fallen off No Man's Sky in the wake of Elite Dangerous, I think once again you should go back, because this, but not just go back and start again, and experience the game as it's meant to be played now, with this new storyline taking control. There we go. Also, everything just looks much better. So here we go. This is my final little bit here. This is the end of the initial mission. You get your blueprint to get antimatter and start making your own warp cells. So it seems like a good time to leave this off. I'm sure that I'm probably going to be streaming or playing more No Man's Sky now, definitely. And I will post videos with things that I find, but I just wanted to make this brief sort of like overview and essentially a little bit of a love letter to this game. But I haven't played a game where it excites me so much. Every like 3 months some update comes out and it excites me so much. And also go and have a look at No Man's Sky's website and take a look at the passion of their patch notes. When they write up these updates, that this is still very much a passion project to Hello Games. It's still a small team, still doing absolute wonders. So there we go. I would sum that up quite nicely. No Man's Sky, Atlas Rises. Grab a copy now, pick it up, play it, re-download it. You won't regret it.